Sometimes, the most brutal part of losing someone you love isn't watching them die. It's knowing they face death, alone. But what happens when a stranger, wearing the colors everyone fears, becomes the angel your family desperately needed? This is the true story of Dave Cole, his sister Maya, and the Hell's Angel who refused to let her die without dignity. Before we begin, tell me, have you ever experienced unexpected kindness from a stranger? Because what you're about to hear might just restore your faith in humanity. Act 1, The Call That Destroys Everything. 2:17 in the morning. Spokane, Washington. Dave Cole's world collapsed in exactly 47 seconds. The nurse's voice cut through the darkness like a blade through silk. "I'm sorry, Mr. Cole. Your sister passed at 2:11 a.m. Maya Cole. 29 years old. Gone. And she died the way Dave feared most. Completely alone. No hand holding hers. No voice whispering comfort. No last I love you." Dave slid down against the kitchen cabinet, phone still pressed to his ear, listening to the dial tone that couldn't rewind time. The refrigerator's hum mocked his silence. The cold tile burned against his bare feet. He whispered into the empty room. "I should have been there." But grief isn't just sadness, is it? It's a fog that swallows everything whole. Act 2, The Shop Where Shame Lives. Dawn broke over Spokane like a reluctant promise. At Cole Auto and Tire, beneath the freeway overpass, Dave found the only language that still made sense, the honest conversation between rubber and steel. You know that feeling when work becomes your hiding place? When routine is the only thing holding you together. In a town this size, news travels faster than truth. And people always have opinions, especially about someone else's pain. Dave kept his head down. Cleaned Maya's apartment 3 times. Paid what bills he could. Tried to remember how to breathe. Act 3, The Angel in Leather Armor. The shop door chimed. Silence followed. Then he walked in. Road-worn leather. A beard threaded with silver. The posture of a man who had stopped apologizing years ago. On his vest, the red and white patch that made people cross the street. But here's what nobody expected. He removed his gloves with the care of someone setting down a prayer. "You Dave Cole?" His voice was steady gravel. Dave nodded, dry-throated. "Name's Ray Vargas. People call me Bones." He placed a sealed envelope on the counter like it might shatter. "Your sister knew me for exactly 4 hours. I was there when she passed. She asked me to find you." The room tilted sideways. Act 4, The Cruelty of Small Minds. Before Dave could reach for Maya's final words, laughter cut the air. Troy Bennett. Local loudmouth. A man who found strength in other people's weakness. "What's this? Charity from a biker church?" Silence gave him permission. Heard she chased off the nurses. Couldn't even keep family around. Dave's jaw clenched. Bones stayed perfectly still, like a pillar holding up the room. "That's enough," Dave managed. Troy smiled the way predators do. "We all pay for people like her. Town's got bills because some folks won't carry their weight." Bones spoke softly. "Say her name with respect." Troy smirked. "Respect is earned." The envelope sat between them like a heart on a scale. Act 5, The Truth That Breaks Hearts. Bones didn't raise his voice. He did something braver. He told the truth. "I was at Sacred Heart last night. My brother from the club was in the next room. Your sister was in the hall. Alone. With a paper cup and a stubborn smile. She said she was waiting for someone who might not make it." Dave's chest burned. 2 missed calls while he was mounting tires. Hands black with rubber. Telling himself he'd call back later. Bones continued. "She asked me to talk about anything but dying. So I told her about a rainstorm in New Mexico that makes steam rise off the road like ghosts. She said it sounded like forgiveness. When it got quiet, she reached for my hand. I stayed until the end. He nudged the envelope forward. She asked me to bring you this. Act 6, Maya's final words. Dave's hands trembled as he broke the seal. Her handwriting. Uneven. Smudged. Dave. Don't be angry. I asked a stranger to stay. You weren't late. You were just human. I didn't want you to see me small. I wanted you to remember me loud, stubborn, alive. Please know I wasn't afraid. He was kind. He reminded me that storms pass. Don't carry this weight forever. Let it soften, not harden you. I love you always. Maya. Dave clutched the letter to his chest. Tears blurred the room. She wasn't alone, he whispered. Bones nodded once. Not for a second. Act 7, the battle for dignity. But Troy wasn't finished. Touching, he sneered. Hell's angel with a heart. Maybe next time she can pay him for babysitting. Dave's throat closed. Bones' jaw flexed. Troy's laughter spread like wildfire through the shop. You gonna cry? She was a junkie, man. Better off. The sentence never finished. Bones stood. Chair scraping concrete like thunder. He stepped into the space between cruelty and love. Say it again, Bones said. His voice low enough to rattle souls. Act 8, when brothers stand together. The shop went silent. Troy tried to laugh. His throat betrayed him. Just saying what everyone thinks. Bones leaned closer. You don't get to define her. Not in front of him. Not in front of me. Troy shoved Dave's shoulder. Runs in the family, doesn't it? Dave swung. Clumsy. Desperate. Barely grazing Troy's jaw. The crowd gasped. Troy lunged. But Bones caught his wrist midair. You want to swing at someone? Swing at me. Not him. Never him. Act 9, the lesson in strength. Bones released Troy with a shove. You talk about weakness like you know what strength is. Strength isn't humiliating the broken. Strength is holding the hand of a dying woman because her brother couldn't get there in time. Strength is showing up when it costs you something. Grief doesn't make a man small. It makes him human. And if you can't respect the dead, you don't deserve the living. Act 10, dignity restored. Silence. Every eye on the man in leather. Bones turned to Dave. Your sister died with dignity. Don't let anyone steal that from her, or from you. For the first time, Dave stood taller than his fear. Troy muttered, retreating to the door. His friends followed. Bones' steady hand grounded Dave. You held your ground. She'd be proud. Dave whispered, I froze. No, Bones said. You stood. That's what counts. Act 11, the healing ride. Outside, clouds hung heavy. Dave pressed Maya's letter to his chest. Bones lit a cigarette. You don't have to fight every battle. But today, you fought the right one. Dave asked quietly, she asked you to stay. Why did you? Bones looked away. Because I've seen too many people die alone. I owed her that. Maybe I owed myself too. He nodded toward his bike. Ever ride? Dave shook his head. Then today's a good day to start. Act 12, Riding with Angels. The Harley roared to life. Dave climbed on. Let her press tight. They rolled out onto Riverside Highway. The city fell behind. Pine and river stretched ahead. Wind lashed his face. Grief peeled back, layer by layer. For the first time, he let the tears fall. And in the wind, faint but clear, he heard Maya's laugh again. Act 13, Goodbye on the Bluff. They stopped at a bluff above the river. Dave whispered, she loved rivers. Said they never stop moving, even when you can't see it. Bones nodded. She was right. Dave unfolded the letter once more. Don't carry this weight forever. Let it soften, not harden you. He stared at the water below. I never said goodbye. I thought if I held on tight enough, she'd still be here. Bones placed a hand on his shoulder. Goodbye doesn't mean gone. It just means you carry them differently. Dave released the letter. It danced in the wind. Spun. Floated down to the river. And was carried away. Tears streamed freely, but they felt different now. Goodbye, Maya, he whispered. Thank you. Act 14, The Bond That Lasts. They sat until sunset painted the sky in her favorite colors. Finally Dave asked, Why me? Why did you care enough to find me? Bones lit another cigarette. Because once, nobody stayed for me. I swore if I ever had the chance, I'd do better. Your sister gave me that chance. Dave's voice broke. Then you gave her what I couldn't. You gave her dignity. Bones nodded. And you gave her love. Don't ever let anyone take that from you. Two men sat side by side. Grief braided with respect. A bond sealed stronger than pity. Epilogue, The Road Forward. Weeks later, Dave walked back into the shop. No whispers. No mocking. Above the register, taped with care, a single photo. Maya. Grinning wide. Hair wild in the wind. That night, Bones pulled up, engine rumbling low. Dave stepped outside. Jacket zipped. Helmet ready. No words needed. The road stretched ahead. The horizon opened. Goodbye no longer meant ending. It meant carrying love differently, lighter, freer, alive in every mile ahead. And in that truth, Dave smiled. Grief doesn't disappear. It changes shape. Love lives on in the bonds we never expected. In the strangers who become brothers. In the moments when humanity shows up wearing leather and patches. If this story touched your heart, share it. Because in a world full of darkness, we must remind each other. Heroes are real. Love wins. And sometimes, salvation comes riding a Harley.